Before we get into the mechanics of implementing authentication and authorization, let's have a quick look at the high-level architecture. So let's start with the authentication. In order to implement authentication, on the client, we should build a login page, and on the server, we should build an API endpoint to validate a user. When the user clicks on the login button, our Angular app is going to call this API endpoint and pass the username and password. Now, on the server, we're going to validate these credentials, and if they're valid, we're going to return what we call a JSON Web Token or JWT. This token is basically a JSON object that includes certain attributes about the logged in user, and we use it to identify the user on the client and also on the server. As a metaphor, think of it like a driving license. It's exactly the same. On your driving license, you have your name, your date of birth, your address. These are certain attributes about you. JSON Web Tokens are exactly the same. They include a few attributes about the logged in user, like their user ID, their name, their email, whether they are an admin user or not, and perhaps a few other attributes. These attributes vary from one application to another. Now, we get this JSON Web Token on the client, and then we need to store it somewhere persistent so it can exist across session restarts. So if the user closes their browser but then opens it again, the token should still be there. We use the local storage for that. So almost all modern browsers have a simple storage per website, and they also provide an API for storing key value pairs into this storage. So we're going to use this native API to store our JSON Web Token inside the browser's local storage. Now on the client, we can use this token to identify the user. For example, we can display their name on the navigation bar, we can show or hide parts of a page, or prevent access to certain routes if they don't have a valid token. This is how we work with these tokens on the client. Now let's say the user wants to get the list of orders from the server, and this list is only available to authenticated users. So on the server, we have an API endpoint like /API/orders. In order to get the list of orders, on the client, we should include the JWT in the request header. And then on the server, we should extract this token, validate it, and if it's valid, we'll return the list of orders. Otherwise, we'll return an unauthorized response. That's the response with the status code 401. So this is the big picture. Next, we're going to look at these JSON Web Tokens in more detail.